Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Spurzer3 here. Just want to give a quick thoughts after day one of what I think about the underwater excursions and everything there. Just been looking around and testing stuff to see what makes sense to me and doesn't make sense, and wanted to share some of the tips and things I figured out to help you guys. And if you want some more questions or you want to try something out, swing by the stream and I'll be happy to help you out. See here, I'm just working on planning one of my voyages in my current video here. I will go into this in a second after I chat a little bit about it so you can see in live. I can show it a little bit more to see what it's looking for. But some of the things I've noticed for going down into the descent, there are the lanterns that you will place down, the charting of them. You can place down just a small number, and then when you do the voyage, you can place down a large number of lanterns. I've been putting the auto lantern on, but you can still manually place lanterns even if you have the auto option on. It will just immediately place the lantern where your cursor is as long as it is outside of the bubble, much like Expedition, except you don't get to test hover where you're going to put it. It just goes immediately when you click it down. I have been also tending to avoid using movement skills when I'm down for putting lanterns down because I've sometimes jumped over walls and things like that. And then when I'm coming back to ascend from the bathysphere, I get stuck and I can't get around a bubble because I jumped a wall somewhere and I get path blocked in and I just die to the water, so to speak. So I'd be a little cautious about using movement skills when you're down underneath there. I also know that you can use movement skills to jump between bubbles. So I've used smoke mine right now as well. And if I do my chart and I do a circle, which is a nice, easy way, you can kind of circle back to where the bathysphere started. And then once you place that last lantern down, it'll immediately start closing down and you're on a timer, which you don't know how long it is. It's just each kind of bubble starts shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So if you have a decent movement skill with some length and you kind of circle around to the bathysphere, you can place that last lantern and you can just jump right back to your initial starting spot without having to retrack from lantern to lantern. I've also noticed that the dead man sulfur that is gathered, seems to be gathered the minute you place your lantern down. So when you drop the lantern down, it'll immediately say how much dead man sulfur you've gotten. And I've also feel like I've noticed that the dead man sulfur that you get seems to be based on the amount of space revealed from dropping the lantern. So if you're in a small little alleyway, it's only giving me 40 to 50, but if it's a big open seafloor, it seems to give me a few hundred, which is nice. As far as charts and voyages, when you finish and place the last lantern, I've also noticed that there's not really any visual cue that you have placed the last lantern, so you have to pay attention to that a little bit because sometimes I will place my last lantern down, not really be paying attention because I got my music on and I'm just hanging out, kind of alkin going, and then I realize, oh my goodness, everything's closing in and I have to run back. So just be a little careful for that. There is an audio cue; she will yell out "back to the bathysphere" or something to that extent. So you can usually hear a little bit of it, but visually it doesn't like shake the screen, nothing pops up or anything like that. So I've died a few times in my charts just not paying attention to what's going on. I also um, was doing my voyages and the Allflame capsules where you can send your items back up to the surface. They only allow you to take items up to the surface that are found in the voyage. So make sure you clear your inventory out before you go because I went down with a full inventory of stuff because I finished a map and forgot to clear my inventory out. And I noticed I had all this stuff in my inventory and I couldn't send it up in the Allflame capsule and I was just sort of stuck with a small inventory to use. Let's see what else here I've noticed. You can also, once you get to the Allflame capsules, those are the same as where you will call the bathysphere in the voyages. And all you have to do is click on the Allflame capsule, and there will be a button to call the bathysphere. And then you just hang out there for about 10 to 15 seconds, and you wait, and it'll show up, and you just kind of defend it while it comes down. There's also things like you would see in the Viridian Wildwood. There's the offers, which just seem to be buffs. I've seen extra projectiles, I've seen extra resistances, I've seen extra damage. Nothing, no negative down effects, which is kind of cool. I'm sure there might be some later that I might experience, but it's nice that you can get a little bit of buff because the voyages can get a little bit uh, harder since you're stacking multiple charts together. When you are doing a chart and not a voyage, I've also noticed there's no way to end a chart early. You have to place all the lanterns down before it will let you go back to the bathysphere and go up. I'm not sure if that's something they will change. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to just go back up. I feel like that may be something that they'll throw in there sooner or later because why not? I mean, if I don't want to place all my lanterns and I just want to leave because I've got something good on me, let me leave. We will also, I will pull out here in a second and I will show you some of the charts and some of the voyages that I've done and how they look when you are looking at a actual voyage screen. Let's see here. So here we go. In game, we talked to Val. Pull up the chart area. I don't have any charts on me, but she will be very similar to all these charts. And these charts, as you can see, are all I looked. They are all exactly the same. So when you do a chart, it allows you to place it into a voyage. It'll be the exact same chart. So all the modifiers will be exactly the same as they are. You will just also be able to now do it in the voyage, which gives me a little tale of caution as well, because sometimes I do something a little cheeky where I look at something like this with a lot of crit strike and crit multiplier and I go, ooh, that's a little dangerous. I don't think I want to do that. Lower, like I'll try it out. I'll see if I can make it happen. I just want to get it done. And then I notice that, oh, I'm going to have to do that in the voyage with all the other modifiers that go on in there as well. At the very top of a chart, it also says undersea groves. And I've noticed, I haven't noticed, I'm assuming that each undersea grove, or this one is pelagic abyss, seafloor ridges, I think that that corresponds with the ducats that drop. I'm not sure about that. That's just speculation on me. I'm imagining that those are all different zones that have different ducats or ducats, however you pronounce it. So you can also look here that all these adjacent edges you can re-roll for 3,000 Dead Man Sulfur. I haven't done it yet because I'm not swimming in sulfur yet. The only one in here, I'll see if I can find a currency quantity one, is the only one that is a little harder to see. Okay, it doesn't show any. But if you highlight the squares over here on the left side, the area modifiers, you can see what it is going to give everything initially before you put something else in there and you get a whole wall of text like that and you're not sure. When you have it in here, you can control click it to put it out. If you just want to randomly throw them in there, I'll just fill it up real quick so you can see. You have to make sure they all connect somehow, some way. You could highlight begin voyage. It'll show you the area level there. Oh, let me move my... Okay. You can see there. It'll show you the area level. I will leave my camera like that so you can see the rest of things here. They also all have different modifiers on them. The voyages have different modifier, or the charts that you're placing in the voyage have different modifiers. At the very top, the implicit modifiers are Dead Man Sulfur found in all, 20% increased Dead Man Sulfur found in all voyage areas. I have tended to find something that I liked for a voyage modifier and put that in my center square because I'm not getting any of the edge bonuses for it being in the center. So something like this adjacent modifier I would not put in, voyage modifier I would put in. That's just something I was doing. Not really sure what the best strategy is yet or not. But there is also, let's re-roll it for you, see if I can get lucky. Looking for this one. Reduced quantity of items found in adjacent area per connection and 180% increased quantity of items found in adjacent areas. So this is one where you want to put something like this mod where it is only connecting on one side. So you're going to have the 50% reduced, but you're going to have 180% increased quantity when you do the math on that. I don't know if it's a direct correlation or if there's some of that goofy more or less math that Path of Exile does, but you're going to have, what, 130% increased quantity in adjacent areas. So that would be this one and this one, I believe. And then you would just put in your sulfurs and all your other ones, stack them in there. Make sure they all line up properly. Again, I don't know necessarily which one is the best way to do or not best way to do. But I can't actually do it like that. Let's see. They all connect? No. All chart connection must connect to the other chart connections or everything not connected. I would think that they are all connected, but I guess not. Guess you can't have dead ends like that. They have to go directly into the edge somehow. So if I go like this, nope. So I don't actually think I can actually do. I may not actually be able to currently do one. I guess I could do like this. No, no, I guess not. Yeah, I don't think I have. I don't feel like playing around with you here, but so that is how that all works. You will be able to see the voyage level, and when you come out of the voyage, when you are finished, you will be able to show a loot stash here. This little box here will actually be clickable, and you will be able to click on it and also bring up your stash at the same time while looking in at that screen, which will allow you to move things like currency. You get a bunch of bulk currency, you can just control click it and it'll throw it into its affinity tabs without you having to screw around too much and put it into your inventory here, run over to your stash, dump it, come back, do it again, so on and so forth. So that's just some of the things that I've figured out and worked on, and I'm not sure what is common knowledge and what is not, but that's just my thoughts on it. So there's things to play around with. I also have found, we'll open them right here because I don't know how rare they are. Just doing my charts, I found about 3 of these message in a bottles. Don't know how rare they are, don't know if they're common, but the first one gave me a Tassilo's sign ring. Let's see. Looks like it's just going to give random uniques. Oh, gave me a divine. How about that? And 20 stack deck. So it just seems like it's just something. I don't know what it could or couldn't be. It just seems like it gives you whatever. A stack of currency, a unique. This is probably the 4th one, so this fairly common. But yeah. Thank you guys for hanging. If you want to come support the stream, twitch.tv/Berzer3. I'll be streaming most of this weekend and playing my Cobra Lash Deadeye build, which is based on an old SRO build that I can talk about more on the stream. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if I can help you any other ways, let me know. Peace.